What's up, everyone? It is day 2 of my, I guess, sales journey X spiritual. Um, Today, I want to start off by reading. Uh, Damn, I just found out that there are a few lizards in here, in this box right next to me, that I'll show you at the end of the video. But they've been living in there. But let's get back to what we were talking about. I want to start off by reading a few verses from what I read today. Romans chapter 8, from verse 35 through 39. It says, "Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword? As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of God, which is Christ Jesus our Lord." The reason why I wanted to start it off with this is because today I genuinely feel like my heart went through this. Today I feel like um, just how everything was, I felt that um, my heart needed to hear this. And what do I mean by this? So, to give you some more context, today I started off my day really, I wouldn't say late, but in terms of like my work, I started it late. I didn't start hitting the phone or the dials until 10 a.m. I didn't start calling anybody until 10 a.m. And normally, or yesterday, I would start calling around 6 a.m. So I started 4 hours late. The reason why I did was because I was helping out my girlfriend's mom and taking her to work in Marina Del Rey. If you guys are pretty familiar with Marina Del Rey, actually, give me 1 second. Sorry, I was putting the girls back in the house. If you guys are pretty familiar with the LA area, Marina Del Rey, um, it's a pretty cool, it's near the beach, it's pretty nice. But the thing is, driving there is the worst. Why? Driving there is the worst is because there is a freeway. I think it's, damn, I'm terrible with freeways. I think it's the 110, but essentially it goes through downtown and it's terrible. There's always traffic, especially in the morning, there's always traffic. And it was just draining. Being stuck in traffic is pretty draining. So I, yeah, I just didn't like it. Anyways, I still started off the day waking up at 5 a.m. and I was still able to start with meditating and being in the Word. The only thing is that because the traffic is terrible, I had to leave the house by 6. Normally, if I were to wake up at 5 a.m., I would be have enough time before I start dialing, but I didn't. So I didn't get to work out, and when I didn't get to work out, I mean, at least yesterday, whenever I did work out, it felt really good. It felt really good because, to be honest, I don't want to work out. And me doing that first thing in the morning, it just put me in a good mood overall. So, yeah, I didn't get to work out today. I'm not going to blame this whole day on that. But it adds to it. It compounds to essentially how I feel throughout the day. It's like a lot of you guys probably could relate, but it's like drinking coffee, and a day without coffee versus a day with coffee are two completely different things. Anyways, so to bring back our attention to the offer, today I didn't get to start until 10. And during that 4 hour time span, a lot of my other, I was just popping up notifications while I'm stuck in traffic of my other team members doing really well in terms of starting off the day. And they started off with 2 sets, both of them. And when I saw that, I couldn't help but focus on the thoughts of comparison. And comparison is the thief of joy, and I truly believe that. And yeah, so essentially that's where my spiritual warfare started throughout the whole day. Satan just kept feeding in thoughts of me, in terms of saying thoughts like, "Oh, look at your team members. They're doing so well, especially during the day, and here you're doing nothing." What other thoughts? There's also thoughts of like, "Oh, your team leaders are gonna see this, and they're gonna immediately fire you after the end of the day, because you're not doing anything at all. You haven't gotten any results." And because of that, my heart was very, very susceptible to that. And it cultivated a heart of being in a rush and being needy. And because of that, I started operating from throughout the whole day, or yeah, throughout the whole day, I was operating from a heart of, I need to perform, I need to perform, I need to do something, I need to control myself, so I need to put in more output. I was essentially seeking control on my outcome. And as you guys, it's funny that I'm talking about this, but as the last video, the video that I was talking about was essentially me talking about how I don't have any control on my outcome. There is no control on my outcome, and that is through God's grace that He gives me the outcomes and gives me the blessings, or gives me the lessons in life. And today I had the opposite heart. I had the heart of needing to perform, because I was just comparing myself to everyone else, and everyone else was doing really, really well, and I'm here with 0 results. And how did that affect my work throughout the whole day? Today, I want to talk about the difference between calm versus needy, and how do I explain this? In a rush energy. It's the best way I can explain it. But in the majority of the day, I would want to say that I was so workspace. I had a heart of needing to perform, needing to seek control, and because of that, a lot of the things that I noticed when it came to work was my mindset was terrible. I was so focused on myself throughout the calls. I wasn't even present at all. A lot of the times when I was talking to someone, and they say something and they give me an answer, a lot of the times what got in the way was my thoughts of thinking, what is the next question I can ask that would actually allow me to produce results? And it's terrible. Why is it terrible? Because I'm not present at all. I'm not even listening to what that person is saying. I'm not even intentional with my attention when it comes to them. I was just so in my head. And because of that, I have some notes here. I was very needy. And I was forcing a lot of the conversations when it came to essentially making them look qualified. I got pushy. I got a little bit pushy, and I got very attached. I got attached in the sense of whenever I got off the call and I didn't get the outcome that I was expecting, I was getting very upset, and a lot of negative feelings started coming up within me. And yeah, and because of that, it was terrible. I was just in my head a lot, and it was this like weird cycle of, or it was this weird butterfly effect of like everything tying back together, and I was just in this cycle of like, how to explain this? I was in this cycle of just destruction, negative feelings, a very, very low state when it came to operating and having these conversations. And yeah, it got to the point where I was like, okay, I don't enjoy this feeling at all. I'm fucking up everything in terms of like my conversations with these people. I'm not even like my heart is not even for them right now. My heart is just focused on myself. And so um, I took a step away. I just put everything down and I went for a walk. I went for a quick 10-minute walk, I want to say, with nothing but my thoughts and just me praying to God. And well, luckily, I was walking the girls as well, so that was good. However, during this time when I was essentially praying, I was just talking to him about my heart, and I was asking him that I don't enjoy this feeling. And by God's grace, God was able to kind of show me my heart. Um, and yeah, I just told God that I'm seeking way too much control. I'm trying to control the outcome again, and I'm creating expectations, and I'm focusing on the expectations. I wasn't surrendering my expectations to him, and I was so in my head, and I didn't want that heart. So I told him to just give me the grace to give him all these problems. And I also asked him what essentially I needed for my heart. What can I do to realign myself with my heart? And throughout the whole day, I was reading Romans chapter 8, and some key verses that stood up, that my heart was really holding on to, was Romans chapter 8, verse 6 to 8. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please God. We'll actually add another verse to that, yeah. Verse 9. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit. If so be that the Spirit of God dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the Spirit of Christ, he is none of his. Now, what does God's word say about me, right? Or actually, what does God's word say about the flesh versus the Spirit? When you're living in a mind of flesh, and I actually should have done my research on carnally. I don't know what that means, but essentially, if you're focused on, also verse 2, for the law of the Spirit of life in Christ Jesus hath made me free from the law of sin and death. To put everything together, if you focus on the flesh, fleshly thoughts will come out. If you focus on the fleshly heart, fleshly thoughts will come out, and because of fleshly thoughts coming out, inevitably fleshly actions will come out. So because I was so focused on comparing myself with everyone else, because I was so focused on listening to what Satan was telling me and listening to my heart, I cultivated the actions of being needy, being pushy, being selfish, not being present, and being too attached to the outcomes, right? If I were to be in the Spirit, if I were to focus on God, I wouldn't trust my circumstances. Even though, yes, my circumstances may look like my team members were performing well, but at the end of the day, if I truly had a spirited heart, I would have accepted the truth that, hey, maybe today, God is teaching me another lesson. Maybe the lesson isn't to get a lot of qualified appointments. Maybe the lesson is something else. Maybe it's something that I need to grow as a person. And inevitably, I can assume that that was the lesson today. So I want to talk about the calm mind. The calm mind, the calm heart, the calm energy. It was weird. After having this walk, I just went back to dialing again, and I didn't have any expectation that God was going to answer my prayers. However, whenever I got my first person that picked up the phone, I was a lot calmer. My rate of speech was slower, and through that, I was a lot more present. So normally, I would answer the phone with, "Hey, can you hear me?" And they would say, "Yeah, I can hear you. Who's this?" And I would ask, "Hey, this is Josh with XYZ team, and I'm calling because I see that you were interested in the past on XYZ offer." In the beginning, whenever I had this flesh, let's differentiate the two energies: the fleshly energy and the spirit energy. The fleshly energy is the rushed energy, the needy energy, the comparison energy. The spirit energy is the calm energy. Now, with this calm heart that I had, this spirit energy that I had, I was just calm. I was slow and I was present. In the rate of speech that I had, because I had such a slow speech, my body just took that as, okay, hey, we're good, we're calm, and we're relaxed. So a lot of the times whenever when I had the fleshly energy, I was rushing through the intro. And because I was rushing through the intro, everybody would just be like, okay, this guy's talking fast, and you know what? I'm just not going to even listen to this guy, right? Now let me get to you why that these people weren't listening to me. When I came in with a calm energy or calm heart, I was speaking at the rate that I'm speaking right now with you guys. And essentially, I noticed that a lot of people were more receptive. A lot of people were more receptive into hearing what I wanted to say and hearing what I was trying to say. And yeah, it just people's ears were a lot more, I guess, they wanted to listen more. And because of that, I would always ask, and I would just dive deeper into the intros. And next thing you know, a lot of my calls after the second half, or after the first half, was longer than 2 minutes. Normally, a lot of or majority of the calls today in the first half were less than 2 minutes. But because of that, and I'm not saying I was speaking hella slow like this. No. It was just more of the energy of like, hey, I have time today and I really want to hear what's happening in your life. And because of that, that energy was just transferred over on the other phone, on the other side of the phone. And because of that, those people were just more open to the questions that I was asking. Some of the notes that I wrote here, or some of the things that I noticed whenever I had this calm energy, was it cultivated a heart to be detached from self and focus on helping others. What I mean by this is, because of my cadence and because of this energy that I had, I didn't really care about what was happening in my mind or in my world or in my life. At that moment, I was just more present in what they were saying and what they had to say. And it was weird. Excuse me. Yeah, it was just weird. Like, I was just detached and I didn't even give a fuck about the outcome. I was just like, you know what? I don't even care if I get this booked call or not. I just really want to understand this person's situation and then see what got them interested in the first place, and why. Why? Another note that I wrote was, oh, people are not used to people who have a slower and calmer pace. In today's world especially, there's just so much negativity and there's so much struggle and survival. There's so many things that remind us to be in a rush that and I was listening to a little bit of my call recordings, and just hearing someone talk with a lot more slower pace, and hearing someone talk with the energy of like, this guy's not in a rush, especially in a time today, it just genuinely makes you curious of like, hey, why is this guy not in a rush? Why does this guy sound so calm? Why does this guy taking his time with everything? Why is that? And because of that, a lot of people are just trying to figure out like, what's going on? Like, why is this guy asking these questions? And it's not even coming from a heart of like skepticism. It's more coming from a heart of like, what does this guy have that I don't have? Like, why is this guy not in a rush, but I'm in a rush? Like, how is this guy not in a rush? You know what I mean? And with that energy, that calm energy, that spirit energy, I also, it was weird. Like, just God gave me a weird sense of everything's gonna work out, bro. Everything is gonna work out. Like right now, your circumstances are just taking the best of you, and you're becoming impatient. Don't worry about it. I have it in control. I'm here with you. You're not by yourself. I will take care of you. Just trust me and be patient. And I'm not lying. After that walk, I came in as a different person. I came in as a different person, and I was just uh, so surprised. And it was weird. Like, I came with this revelation in the middle of a call when someone was talking to me. And I'm talking about being present more when it comes to this calm energy. But it was just like a thought of like, damn, wait, I'm so calm right now. Like, I'm not even in a rush. I'm not even thinking about anything. I'm just thinking about this person right now. And yeah, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. The spiritual, I think the spiritual lesson that I learned today was that um, one, no matter how much God blesses me, I am someone who will easily be susceptible to Satan's thoughts whenever the circumstance is right. No matter what, even if I'm like 10 years following God, if the circumstances are right, my heart will easily listen to Satan's voice. Two, the importance of calm energy, and how that could cultivate essentially a better call or even a better conversation with someone. And three, the biggest lesson that I learned today, and I felt like God was teaching me, was at the end of the day, who do I want to listen to? I think He was teaching me, He was giving me a rep on what it looks like when it comes to trying to take control of your life, or giving that up to God and surrendering that up to God. And I'm extremely grateful for this lesson. Even though I only got one qualified appointment, um, it's fine because I was able to learn the importance of calm energy versus a needy energy. That's pretty much up for today. That's pretty much all I had for today. And yeah, I'm extremely grateful for today. And I'm excited for what God has in store for me tomorrow. And hopefully I have more than one set. Actually, no, I actually have a day off. I'm going to be going to discipleship training and just learning more about God. But yeah, building up that spiritual foundation. And Monday, let's see where that takes us. See you guys. Thank you once again for listening.